Today's class we'll be learning Gemara Psachim Daf Ches Amud Aleph. Previously we learned that one cannot do B'dikas Chametz with sunlight, moonlight, or the light of a torch. And in this class we'll discuss the issue to use the light of a torch. We start off with the Brisa that we already learned, teaching us that one can't use sunlight, moonlight, or the light of a torch. Can only use the light of a candle. And we brought the source for this. And our Gemara starts off and asks, and one cannot use a torch? Can't use a torch for B'dikas Chametz? It would seem that it should be permitted to use the light of a torch. We have two teachings that indicate that the light of a torch is greater than the light of a candle. Rava taught on the pasuk. There's a pasuk in Tanakh that begins with the words V'noiga. Rava learns from that pasuk that la'asad lavi, that tzaddikim compared to the Shekhinah would be like a candle compared to a torch. So we see that a torch has a greater light than a candle. Another teaching from Rava taught that for Avdallah, a torch is the best choice. It's better than a candle because it has a greater light. So if that's the case, that a torch has a greater light than a candle, why is it that for B'dikas Chametz, one's not permitted to use the light of a torch? The Gemara gives four answers. They each bring out how for B'dikas Chametz, for that specific purpose of B'dikas Chametz, a candle is better. Rabbi Hoffinger points out that a torch cannot be used in holes and cracks. When somebody's searching for Chametz, it's necessary for them to search in small places, and for that a candle is much better than a torch. A torch actually cannot be put into such small places as holes and cracks. Rav Zvid points out that the light of a torch is behind the person. It's a great fire. It goes back into the person. He's not able to see in front of him. Whereas with a candle, it's a smaller fire you can see in front of him. Rav Papa points out that a person is afraid to use a torch. It's a large fire. It's a large flame. A person's concerned that something could catch on fire. They're not able to properly focus on the task at hand of B'dikas Chametz. And Ravina points out that the light of a torch isn't steady. When it comes to looking for Chametz, a person needs a steady light. The light of a torch, the flame of the torch flickers, and it doesn't permit the person to search for chametz properly. And with that, we're done our class when it comes to the flowchart. So to summarize, we basically asked that from two different places we see that the light of a torch is greater than the light of a candle. So why is it that one can't use a torch for b'dikas chametz? And we gave four answers. Each Ameir pointed out a certain quality that a candle has, which is better than a torch when it comes to b'dikas chametz. Either the torch can't be inserted into holes and cracks. The light of the torch goes back at the person, not in front of him. The person's afraid to use the torch, can't focus properly on the task at hand of B'dikas Chametz, and the light of the torch isn't steady. Now we'll read the Gemara inside. Ask the Gemara, Va'avuka loy, and a torch, no, one can't use a torch for B'dikas Chametz. Va'amar Rava, but Rava said, Mai d'chsiv, what's this that's written, V'noige ka'er tia karnayim miyadai, Rav interprets the pasuk as follows: to what a tzaddikim compared in front of the Shekhinah. Like Rashi points out, this refers to la'asad lavei, kiner b'fnei avuka, like a candle in front of a torch. So we see that a torch has a greater light than a candle. V'amar Rava, and Rava said, avuka lahavdallah, using a torch for avdallah, mitzvah min hamufchar, it's a choicest mitzvah. So why is it that by B'dikas Chametz one is not permitted to use a torch? It would actually seem that it would be better to use a torch. Amar Rav Nachman bar Yitzchak, Rav Nachman bar Yitzchak said, Zeh, this one referring to the candle, he's able to insert it into holes and cracks. V'zeh, and this one referring to the torch, he's unable to insert it into holes and cracks. Rav Zvid said, Zeh, this one referring to the candle, his light is in front of him, and it permits the person to see the area that he's searching in front of him. V'zeh, and this one referring to the torch, its light is behind him, the person's trying to search in front of him, and the light is primarily behind the torch. Rav Papa said, hi, this one, the torch, boys, it frightens the person. The high in this one, the candle, loy boys, it doesn't frighten the person. Ravina said, hi, this one, the candle, mashach nur, his light is steady, the light is extended straight. The high in this one, miktef aktufe, the light jumps, it breaks off, it flickers, referring to the torch, and therefore can't be used effectively for the purpose of B'dikas Chametz. And with that, we're done our class.